And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the way. Certain things, they let it go by because it's Puff. He wasn't like in the closet. He was like in the hallway.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take but he wants you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
A lot of good it did me. My heart is with Cassie. She and all the women that testified had to sit on the stand while the world has debated their credibility and worth.
50 Cent has finally responded to the jaw-dropping verdict in Diddy's trial. After 2 federal raids, 34 witnesses, and hundreds of testimonies, the outcome is official. Sean Diddy Combs has been found guilty of transporting his ex, Cassie and Jane, for unlawful purposes. However, he was cleared of the heavier charges racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking. While he's dodged the RICO conviction, Diddy now faces a 20-year prison sentence.
Bit of a commotion outside the courthouse. Sean Combs' mother just returned here. She walked in just a second ago, said she is feeling good because her son was acquitted of the most serious charges that he faced, sexting and racketeering conspiracy, both of which could have sent him to prison for life. He was convicted, though, of transportation to engage in prostitution, and that charge could put him in prison for up to 20 years, although it's not expected he would get that much time. What we're waiting for now is the judge to decide whether Combs can be released on bail while he awaits his sentencing. He offered to put up $1 million. He put up his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. They're certainly opulent. The jury, the judge, everybody saw pictures of them. And the judge said he would convene a hearing later this afternoon to determine if Combs should be released.
50 Cent has been at odds with Diddy for years, and now he's producing a Netflix docuseries that promises to expose it all. Titled, Did He Do It? The series is expected to drop by late 2025, according to 50 Cent. It will reveal crimes that never even came up in court. He claims to have spent decades gathering evidence, and it's all set to come to light in the coming months.
You and Puff haven't liked each other business-wise for a long time.
Well, that's why. It's only business. It was really, away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my stuff.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. When I say people respond, how people respond to things matter, like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, nah, I spent $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable.
Nobody's been more vocal against Diddy than 50 Cent. His dislike for Diddy goes way back, long before the trial ever began. Allegedly, things turned sour when Diddy once asked 50 to go shopping with him, which 50 took as a disguised date invitation, with long-standing rumors about Diddy's sexuality already swirling. 50 immediately declined, knowing exactly what was going on.
But you got close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop.
Shit.
This is real Stop it, man. Just set that up. Look, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on.
Wow,
because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we got to hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, maybe I'll take you shopping and I get you some flash and you can give me the hood shit. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the way. Certain things, they let it go by because it's Puff. He wasn't like in the closet. He was like in the hallway.
All these years, you've been the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said you're a hater. They said you're crazy.
You do this, and now everybody's complaining. My is hurting.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
Now 50 Cent is reacting to the Diddy verdict.
He posted a picture of him smiling and wrote the caption, "Diddy beat the Rio." That boy a bad man. He like the gay John Gotti. Hey, yo, chill. Then he posted this one. He said, "Diddy just told me to tell y'all don't worry about him. He gonna hold it down." I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like 50 Cent happy that Diddy didn't go to jail. As much as he don't like Diddy, I don't think he wanted to really see him in jail doing life.
The reason 50 Cent can openly go after Diddy is simple: he's got nothing to hide. In an industry filled with Diddy's old associates, 50 stands out as someone who chose integrity over fame, while others stayed silent because they once partied. With Diddy, 50 kept his distance. He never got involved in anything that could taint his principles. Dan, that's why he's fearless now.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that shit in my past.
Everybody got a little bit. Like,
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drinks. I gave me to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the this is, yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. Well, I don't know why it's so hard for people
so
just
for
to
people to feel like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too. This is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what is that?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on. Diddy do it?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them. And it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
Diddy is currently facing up to 20 years in federal prison for the charges against him. However, since several counts involve the same offense, that sentence could increase. It all comes down to the judge's decision. If the court chooses, Diddy could end up spending the rest of his life behind bars.
But there's a big question as to where he's going to go. Some people think he's going to go to a minimum security facility, and other people say he's not eligible. And I agree, because it's a sex crime.
Prosecutors, they said in their filing yesterday that it's a crime of violence. We'll see how it goes down when it goes to sentencing. But
you know what? Hold on. I know we don't have a lot of time. Here's something nobody's pointed out. That judge could hit him what's called relevant conduct, where they could actually sentence and enhance him for things that he either was acquitted of, found not guilty of, based on the conduct of what he did. So he may get more time.
Oh, the judge has a lot of discretion here. You know, there's no minimum. Max is 10. There's been talk about would he even go past the guidelines, because you're talking about multiple instances of transportation to engage in prostitution and two victims.
Relevant conduct allows the judge to do that.
Right.
The defense will say he has discretion, but he really didn't, because the judge has all the discretion he wants.
That's 100%. That's why he's going to need as much information from a pre-investigation report. Let me ask you this. If he goes to prison, if he's sentenced to prison, he was acquitted of racketeering. He was acquitted of trafficking, but he was convicted of transportation to engage in prostitution. Does he walk in a king, or does he walk in a pariah? How do other inmates look at him if he was acquitted?
You know what? He was acquitted on some charges.
Yeah.
People win. I mean, on multiple counts, people sometimes get things dismissed all the time. Fact is, he's no better than anyone else. He's a convicted felon.
But he's going to get the maximum. The judge will give him the maximum, just like they gave O.J. Simpson the maximum in Vegas, because he got off Simpson in L.A. when he clearly killed these two people. And then when they got a second crack at him on a minor beef, relatively, of theft, they sentenced him to heavy time. So Diddy will go to prison, and he should. He's evil. And I say that because I just wrote a book called Confronting Evil.
Yeah,
he used narcotics and violence, to coerce people to do what he wanted to do. That's evil. Sorry.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Now, back to Trump.
Well, hold on. Stephen wants to weigh in on what you just said. Go ahead.
Okay.
Only thing I want to weigh in, I don't want to castigate the entire culture. I'm tired of, we see pictures of a few bad apples conducting themselves in very disgusting manners and thinking that that's the entire industry. I'm a guy that was raised in the hip-hop industry. I know an abundance of hip-hop artists and beyond who have never engaged in, never been accused of, never would think of putting themselves in the kind of positions.
Diddy managed to beat two of the most serious charges against him. Reportedly, when he heard the verdict, he bowed his head, then stood up and applauded. It's shocking, despite overwhelming evidence and over 34 witnesses testifying, he still walked free. There were videos, physical proof, and footage showing him involved in the crimes, that somehow he still slipped through.
We have a big update right now. Remember how we were just saying this is the best possible outcome for the defense? Combs agrees and the defense agrees. Combs, after being led out by marshals, as he was being led out, he knelt down in front of his chair and bowed his head down as if he was praying. When he stood up, he faced the gallery and he began to clap, prompting the gallery to clap and cheer. Combs' attorneys, they all exchanged hugs, and the gallery continued to cheer for him. I mean, what a moment in that courtroom.
Well, the verdict is in. Sean Diddy Combs has been convicted on 2 counts of transportation of his ex-girlfriends to engage in prostitution, but cleared of the most serious charges against him. The music mogul has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts of trafficking. The charges he has been found guilty of are connected to his 2 former partners, including singer Cassie Ventura and a former girlfriend being referred to as Jane. In the U.S., it is a crime to knowingly transport any person with the intent that they engage in prostitution or illegal sexual activity. The 12-person jury deliberated for 3 days before reaching the verdict. The maximum penalty for each of the 2 guilty counts is 10 years in prison plus a fine.
How you doing? Not bad. How are you?
Anything you want the public to know?
Not yet. We'll be saying something soon. We're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done, and we're pleased that Cassie brought to light everything that has happened in this trial. I just spoke with her and with the U.S. Attorney's Office team. And she's in a good place. She's pleased that, again, that the jury has found him liable, I would say guilty of these 2 federal crimes.
It's absolutely a win. The defense took a really big gamble going to trial on this case. Really, any time that a defendant chooses to go to trial against the federal government, it's a big gamble. They have a lot in their favor, and it really paid off for Combs.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury.
Diddy's family celebrated outside the courthouse, even dancing after the verdict came down. But it's worth noting his sons were also named in a lawsuit against him. Allegedly, Diddy used them to gain access to more women. Both sons are also facing assault allegations. This verdict feels like a huge blow to the prosecution. If Diddy can't be convicted with all this evidence, then what's the point of any of it?
And after nearly a 2-month trial with 34 witnesses and hours of salacious testimony, a jury of 8 men and 4 women finds Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of racketeering and trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The judge is currently deciding right now whether Combs will actually be released today. His defense arguing that since the music mogul was acquitted of the most serious crimes, he should be able to go home. Once court was adjourned, family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
This is shocking. This was an enormous defeat for prosecutors. The 3 big charges, which is why they prosecuted him in the first place, the jury acquitted Diddy.
They only found him guilty on what we knew all along were the easiest things to find him guilty of. That was the transportation for purposes of the Mann Act.
Which is sending a prostitute across state lines. Right. Happens every day.
We knew before the trial started he was guilty of those.
They never would have filed these charges if it were just that. This undeniably is an enormous embarrassment for prosecutors, and it really underscores what Mark Agnifilo was saying, that they tried to make it about baby oil and Astroglide and all that other stuff. And the jury,
but you can't ignore the fact that they looked through also Cassie's emotional testimony. Pregnant Cassie testifying
and didn't
wasn't
buy
enough. It wasn't enough.
Didn't buy it. It is undeniably a victory for Diddy, even though he's going to spend time in prison, it would seem.
Some of Diddy's fans even celebrated outside the courthouse. Imagine celebrating a monster like Diddy getting away.
Here are the people celebrating it. Here are the people celebrating it. Crackhead Barney getting in on the action. Give me the baby oil, jumping around as they sprayed baby oil on her. I don't want to keep giving them attention, but I want you to see just how dumb this was. This was painted as the chaos. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's a stunt. It's a dumb, stupid stunt. She looks ridiculous. She looks terrible. And this is what it's about? This is what we're celebrating? I mean, this is horrible.
After nearly 2 months in court, with 34 witnesses and hours of explicit testimony, a jury of 8 men and 4 women found Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of racketeering, but guilty on 2 counts of unlawful transportation. The judge is now deciding whether Combs will be released today, with his lawyers arguing that since he beat the most serious charges, he should be allowed to go home. Once court ended, his family celebrated the decision. His son Christian told ABC News he was overjoyed.
Cassie Ventura writes a letter to the judge asking for him to deny Diddy's bail, calling Diddy a danger to all of the witnesses. The judge just said at 5 o'clock he will make his determination on whether he's going to let Diddy walk free today while he's waiting to be sentenced on his 2 counts of prosta. And now Cassie Ventura is the second person to write a note saying that Diddy is dangerous and she doesn't believe that he should be let out on bail while he's waiting for sentencing. Cassie Ventura's lawyer wrote this letter on her behalf to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing trial. They cite the law, the Bail Reform Act, that says detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges, and Cassie Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Now I'll be on the lookout if we have any other notes from witnesses that testified against Diddy, because this is a big deal. The judge will take these into consideration on if he's going to grant Diddy's bail. Still waiting on the government's letter as well, so this is why the judge said he'll reconvene at 5 p.m. and this is when he'll make his decision.
Among those waiting on the edge of their seats for the verdict in the Sean Diddy Combs trial was singer Aubrey O'Day. She starred on Diddy's reality show Making the Band and for years has been going public warning about Combs. Now she tells Inside Edition hearing he may soon go free felt like a gut punch.
Some of Diddy's fans were even seen celebrating outside the courthouse. It's hard to believe people would cheer for someone like him.
What was your reaction to hearing this verdict?
It's literally a gut punch. That is not good enough. Let me make it very clear, it's not good enough, okay? We're not normalizing this.
In response to the verdict, one person claimed the jury just wanted to wrap things up quickly. They were tired and eager to head home for the July 4th holiday and enjoy their barbecues. According to them, the jurors should have been given a break and resumed deliberations afterward. They might have reviewed the evidence more carefully. Instead, they rushed through it, failed in their duty, and let justice slip away. Now, this so-called monster could be out in just a few years. People need to stop idolizing celebrities like they're untouchable. Just look at O.J. Simpson or Diddy. Many believe Diddy played a role in Kim Porter's death, and maybe even Biggie and Tupac. Who else could there be that we don't know about? What might he do from behind bars or worse once he's free, especially to those who testified? This jury didn't deliver justice. Shockingly, one juror even defended their decision in a public interview.
You've been speaking out about Sean Diddy Combs, raising alarm bells for years.
A lot of good it did me. My heart is with Cassie. She and all the women that testified had to sit on the stand while the world has debated their credibility and worth.
This morning, a juror from Sean Diddy Combs' trial, who chose to stay anonymous, strongly rejected the idea that Diddy's fame influenced the jury's decision. Speaking to ABC News, the juror called the claim highly insulting and dismissive of the jury and the deliberation process, adding that their verdict was entirely based on the evidence and the legal instructions given. The jury, made up of 8 men and 4 women, found the music mogul not guilty of the most serious charges, including trafficking and racketeering, but did convict him on 2 counts of unlawful transportation involving ex-girlfriends Cassie Ventura and another woman who testified under the name Jane. An alternate juror told CNN that although he didn't join in the final deliberations, he agreed with the jury's decision.
Bro, you got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? the clothing line, the sports line. They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now, I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
After the verdict, Diddy's legal team filed for bail, offering $1 million to secure his release. With sentencing scheduled for October, Diddy, now 55 years old, eager to avoid sitting in jail, especially since a 20-year sentence could mean spending the rest of his life behind bars. However, Judge Arun Subramanian denied the request, stating Diddy has proven to be a danger to others. According to NBC News reporters present in the courtroom, Diddy looked visibly deflated when the ruling came down, as his hopes of going home were crushed despite his lawyers' efforts. Judge Subramanian cited Diddy's long history of violence as a key reason to keep him in custody, emphasizing that he still poses a threat and has shown he can't follow the law. Although Diddy was acquitted of the most serious charges, trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy, he was convicted on counts related to unlawful transportation for sexual exploitation. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo argued that his client should be released under strict conditions, including a $1 million cash bond co-signed by Diddy's mother Janice, his sister Kesha, and Sarah Chapman, the mother of his eldest daughter. Chancey also offered to ground Diddy's private jet in Maui, surrender his passport, and restrict his travel to New York, Florida, and California only for legal obligations. Despite this, the court remained unconvinced. Meanwhile, Cassie's legal team submitted a letter urging the court to keep Diddy locked up until sentencing, saying she fears for her safety and the safety of other witnesses. Her attorney, Douglas Wigder, stated that Cassie is terrified Diddy might retaliate against everyone who testified. Aubrey O'Day also spoke out following the verdict, saying she doesn't feel safe and is stunned that Diddy avoided harsher punishment despite the massive amount of evidence presented against him. Gene Deal reacted to the verdict by saying he believes the trial was never truly about justice. In his view, the real motive was to seize the tapes Diddy had in his possession. According to him, someone powerful far above Diddy wanted to strip him of that leverage. And that's exactly what happened. With Diddy's sentencing scheduled for October, no one really knows what the outcome will be. Most people didn't think he'd beat the charges, but he did. Now, it all rests in Judge Arun's hands. If the judge chooses, he has the power to sentence Diddy to life in prison. Federal judges aren't bound by sentencing guidelines. And with multiple convictions on Diddy's record, the possibilities are wide open. With 50 Cent's explosive docuseries on the way and Cassie's legal team still pushing to keep Diddy behind bars, this story is far from finished. The industry may have shielded Diddy for years, but the internet isn't staying silent this time. Because if this is what justice looks like, then it clearly comes with a price. Subscribe if you're tired of seeing monsters walk free. This is just the beginning.